I did find out this does air on Channel 4 in the UK.
Okay. That's
so
fine.
I think that factors in.
That'll do it.
There are conspicuous commercial breaks. It's been so long since I've watched like something on network television.
That's weird too, though, because like British TV doesn't have commercial breaks like American TV does. So that's bizarre.
Hello, everybody. I am Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching The Great, Season 2 on Hulu. Episode 1, something about Dickhead?
No, this one was called Heads, It's Mine, or something like that. Yeah, Heads, It's Me.
Huh, that was a theme throughout the show. I remember next to nothing about the first season, except for I remember loving it. This show is so funny.
It's so funny.
It is so fiercely funny.
The writers need awards. The writers need so many awards.
I don't hear any conversation about it.
People are excited.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Gillian Anderson is like, I mean, she did nothing for American Gods, but she's a big gun to bring in.
She did a lot for American Gods. The American Gods problem was not the actors. It's that Brian Fuller can't commit to anything.
So, do you know when you're watching something and you're like, this is too good? It can't be. This can't last. Like, it can't be real. And so I think I had really, even though I knew a second season was coming, I had distanced myself. It was post season 4 of Glow and season 2 of The Society, and I just didn't believe it.
But season 1 premiered during COVID. We got season 1 last summer. So I felt more confident about this because studios were like losing their minds about like, well, we're going to have to wait so long. People won't want to wait. And it's like, people will wait. People will be there when it comes back.
This is so completely my thing. Like our thing.
See our Wheel of Time coverage.
They are so good together. Nicholas Hoult. I don't know how to describe what he's doing. It's so fun. So funny. I made a joke and I was like, I said it that I can't talk about it in the review, and I'll talk about it right here. But it's like he's a psycho. Yeah, he's a psychopath, sociopath, whichever one. And he wasn't born, though. It seems very clear that he was made through the behavior of his parents. He was made this way because he was given no positive reinforcement. Well, and we're looking at this through the lens of historical fantasy. Yeah. So we're far enough removed from it that he can be this terror. Like, he openly hits her in this show. And it genuinely is funny to me.
So it is. It 100% is. And I think it's because there's not a huge power imbalance. Because the reason he hits her in this episode is because she's trying to stab him with a butter knife.
Ah! Oh, sorry. Did that hurt?
Yes.
Let's face it, your heart wasn't in it anyway. We don't want to kill each other.
Fervently disagree.
And he just smacks her arm. And
well, no,
she's
he kicked her. And the best part was it was like a reflex.
Yeah.
It was
it was like they can't resist trying to physically harm one another.
My point is to have that masterful of a grip on your tone.
Oh, yeah.
That Nicholas Hoult beating his wife can be played as comedy.
He's been doing this
achievement.
A long time. About a Boy came out 20 years ago. He's been doing this a long time. He's very good at his job. And
the fact that he is so despicable and they can keep him charming.
Well, that is all Nick Hoult.
And
you come wrapped up in that Nick Hoult package and you're like...
I never thought he was all that hot. I think he is in this. It's so funny. And there's just something about all of these people just being adrift in this world. Mm-hmm. Like the George, it was this episode where I was like, oh, Georgina. Okay. Yeah. The George and Gregor, that's kind of a one note joke.
Sure.
And we're into the second season and it's still working. And I love how, because they talk about it in this episode, but I love how stuck they are.
Oh, yeah. They have in the midst of fleeing from the invention of the Molotov cocktail, George and Gregor she's like, hold on, wait. And she was like,
we could run right now, get out of here and go to the country house.
You hate the country house. You would say it's too small.
It's roomier than a coffin.
Are we prepared to die for him? We've never had this conversation before. Which, first of all, before you get involved with a royal court, I think that should be the first question you ask yourself is, are we willing to die for this person? So that is hilarious on its own. And then they actually have this really nuanced talk about, well, we can go flee, and that way if she wins, she probably won't come looking for us. But then George is like, well, I would if I were her. I would find you and kill you. But then she's like, but the real question is, what happens if he wins and we have run away? And so they stick with him. It's hilarious.
But it's just, it's like when you make choices when stakes are going well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and it again, the balance, the mastery of the tone, because, what was it? Oh, Leo. I don't remember, but like, I don't remember what happened, but we lost Leo.
They went out like hunting or something, and
she killed him?
Oh, no. She said I killed him because she sent him to his death.
So she knew. She
knew that they were going to potentially take him out, but then it was it maybe looked like he could have escaped or whatever, but everybody else. I mean, she probably knew he was dead, but just didn't want to accept it. But yeah, he's dead. I'm a little sad he's dead.
Well, and I am too, because he was a piece. Yeah. But
and apparently he had a huge dick.
But this show desperately does need stakes. Yeah. We could lose the stakes so easily because the characters aren't. In spite of them having the conversation, it's at any moment, they're not the level of stress that I would be under in this situation.
They don't. I think they really, really don't sincerely believe that anything might happen to them. George and Gregor and even Peter, they don't sincerely believe that they could be killed. Which is honestly fair, because if if we're using the French Revolution as a counterpart example, it's they could easily just be taken prisoner of war, and they, because of their station, they would still be treated relatively well.
Well, and it was something that Leo said in the first season. I remember that, where he was like, "Oh, at any moment I could die horribly, and probably will. So what is worrying about it?
Once you accept your fate, it's pretty easy to be well,
I can't do it." But it is very funny. So I guess I have no idea what you want from us here. If you've made it this far and you're
so the coup has been happening for 4 months. Catherine's heavily pregnant now. They have basically put a masking tape strip down the middle of the castle so that they each have half of it. They're sort of treating with each other, but not really. And then Peter Trojan horses his way into her room. Hilarious. So amazing. I love that he loves her now. Because he didn't even like her for most of season 1. And now he's in love and devoted to her because of this baby. And also the fact that she's trying to overthrow him is
part of
deeply arousing to him. So he's in this up to his eyeballs now, and he cannot see a way out. I love it. That's mostly it. And then at the end of this episode, he decided,
plot wise, the only thing
he decided to abdicate. So she is empress now, and he will be on palace arrest. Yeah.
And apparently has a plan set to always the right choice. Perfume genius. Queen. I love Perfume Genius so much, and it so suits this show.
It does.
Yeah, so that was the plot. That was what happened. Him and Peter and George and Gregor ran off to that palace.
Yeah.
And
that stone there. I wonder, I believe it's real.
This is in Italy.
It's a location. God, it's so pretty.
Because this is the castle, remember, I've been to. Okay, yeah. That I was obsessed. It's Queen Amidala's castle. Okay. I'm obsessed with this castle.
The coloration.
Although I'm wondering if we're actually going to be back there, because that first shot in the staircase was green screened. And I'm I can see if they're reallocating money, not going back to Caserta.
Well, also Italy had really bad COVID for a while, so
we might not get a lot. We might be on the sets largely in this.
I'm fine with that. They're location. Beautiful. So it works.
I think that's a lot of what our coverage is going to be here.
Yeah.
Is sort of diagramming, breaking down the humor in the episode. Because even the Molotov cocktail, it's like, it was so ham-fisted in a way that, like, in another show, I'd have been like, oh my God.
You!
Molotov, man.
Give me your bottle.
No, but so funny. Especially because she then delivers it with so much artifice where she's like, vodka catches fire. And it's like, yeah.
We've been very effusive over him. She is
Elle
excellent
Fanning.
in this as well.
Man. Again, she's been doing
has
this
to be
her
doing
whole life.
Something slightly different than him.
Yeah,
and
she is because he is coming at this from a place of chaos, and she is coming at it from a place of truly believing she can make Russia better.
And you have to, like people, fucking politics. I'm up to here. We're so demanding of things that are not attainable, and they covered that where. Orlo.
Yeah.
He was like, goals can be admirable.
Yeah.
He was like, but methods have to be gritty.
Yeah.
Like, it was to that point where he was like, in order to get to this place, we're gonna have to.
Right. No, 100%. We got some more of, what's his name? Velementov, her like army guy, her like military leader. I remember not getting enough of him in season 1, and so I'm glad that we have like gotten a little bit. We're like getting more of him. He's funny.
My favorite is you're like, oh, he's faking this heart attack, and then you're like, oh my God, he's not faking this.
Well, he dropped his gun
when he tossed the gun. I was like, oh,
no, he's really having a heart attack. No, he was just like extra faking it so he could grab the other guy's knife from his boot and stab him. And then,
but even that scene where like he like shoots the guy in the face.
Yeah.
And then the like girl comes in crying. Yeah. It's like we do need moments like that to ground us, because we could be up and away in a beautiful
100%.
Balloon on this show.
100%.
And, or even the scene in the beginning where she was like telling off the kids for like playing soccer with the
head. Yeah.
So everybody is mostly this wrapping up. This was largely bringing things back to the status quo.
Yeah.
In a good way.
She made up with Mariel, sort of. Mariel's trying.
Obviously they said it that Mariel betrayed her and was weirdly in cahoots with the
Archbishop.
Yeah, we didn't love him. Didn't Catherine bite off his finger?
I think so. He kept touching her, right? He was like trying to put his fingers in her mouth, and then she bit it off. Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking put your fingers in my mouth, get them bit off. That's where I'm at. But
look around and find out.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he seems like he already is getting a little more nuance in this episode. So I'm excited about that.
I couldn't remember if him and Mariel were fucking.
I don't think so. I think he like helped.
It didn't feel right, but it didn't feel not right.
No, I think he's her uncle or something.
Is it that?
Yeah, I think that it's more like a father-daughter or like a, uncle-niece situation.
And Elizabeth is still in play. She is
the aunt.
Yeah, in an embarrassment of riches of cast and characters.
Only men are dumb enough to do that. It's why they're endlessly creating their own destruction. Like little pandas trapped in a barrel, and they all have knives. And they cut each other up, rather than using the knives to cut open the barrel and run free.
Just a complicated set of metaphors.
This level of aristocracy, you gotta be daffy. It's
totally.
You gotta be a perfect balance of like ice cold.
You have to be daffy and then wear that color purple from head to toe.
The textiles.
Unbelievable.
Because Peter's coat, oh my God.
There's so much brocade. It's like, ugh.
Oh, we did put into play his lookalike.
Oh, yeah.
That Nicholas Hoult plays.
Yeah.
That is out there.
Yeah, he's out there.
So there is 3
of them did get shot.
3 of the 4.
There were 4 lookalikes. 3 of them got shot. The one that Nick Hoult is playing is out there somewhere. I think he's going to be
come into play
around. I thought when he was like running away, I thought she was going to be like, wait, you're coming with us. We might need you. Yeah. Could you imagine how pissed he would be if she started using the lookalike as the actual emperor? He's run off to this other place, and she's like, well, it's him. It's this guy that I have with me, obviously.
And that does feel very hoisted by his own petard, which he doesn't do a lot.
No.
He is very, I think he's
pretty canny, yeah.
I think he's onto something that I do think it is the not thinking about things that allows him to be so on top of it. But yeah, so we're gonna get through this as efficiently as we're able to.
You will have all episodes this week, the week of Thanksgiving in America.
It might bleed into this week, yeah.
It will be with you the week of Thanksgiving in America. We had a very
busy weekend, and we'll continue. So, fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Bye.